Steve McCaffrey.
I know.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and open the council meeting this evening, Monday, July 13th at 7 p.m. Could we please stand for the pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call please, Carol.
Steve Beardsley,
Present.
Mike Bright,
Present.
Brant Fuller,
Present.
Joe Palmer,
Present.
Megan Sheets,
Present.
Clarence Worthen,
Present.
Eric Woods. We have 6 present. Eric Woods is absent.
Thank you. And I want to thank everyone for wearing your mask tonight. I'm thinking in public meetings now for the next few meetings that we're at least going to wear a mask. As we know, the COVID-19 is still active in other parts of the United States and some yet still in Indiana and Clinton County. We have the minutes from the June 22nd regular meeting that we need approved.
I move we approve the minutes for June 22nd.
I'll second. Is there any discussion or comments? Roll call please, Carol.
Steve Beardsley,
Abstain.
Mike Bright,
Aye.
Brant Fuller,
Aye.
Joe Palmer,
Aye.
Megan Sheets,
Aye.
Clarence Worthen,
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Next on the agenda is public comments. Do we have any? We do. Okay. Jason Forsythe, would you want to come forward?
Thank you, Mayor. Megan, I'm sorry you got to hear the same thing as earlier.
It's worth hearing. That's okay.
Couple of quick things. First thing I want to cover is, I'm not sure if I spoke to the council about it in the past or not, but I've been talking to the mayor and we've been working, our MVH, I don't know if you all know, each individual road in our city, we get MVH funding for. Over the past, during our community crossings grant, we started to recognize, or I did when we were filling the grant process out, you have to put the mapping on there. Well, if the mapping doesn't come up, that means that NDOT is not showing that you're getting paid MVH funding for streets. Don't know where the fault lays or anything like that. It's nothing to worry about at this point. But I've been working with BF&S to submit a document to NDOT to where we're going to have about close to 20 different sections of roadway that was in our city that we weren't getting paid MVH funding for. So we've been working the last couple months on that, trying to get that document filled out, getting all the particulars done on, the sections of roadway. Just for instance, the division I live in, Southridge, has never been in our MVH funding. Meadowbrook has never been in our MVH funding. Anything east of Mash Road that Garney developed, and those homes back in there has not been in that MVH funding. We cannot go back and retain what we lost, but we can move forward and have much more money in our budget than we have right now, which is always a bonus. So can't tell you how much that'll be, but I'll be able to give you those numbers in the future. But I got the document finished up to submit to NDOT, and NDOT will either approve or disapprove of those, which there was many emails sent back between myself and the engineering company to get those documents filled out, and hopefully we'll get some good news here in the next couple of months. I'm not sure how long it'll take. But I just want to let you guys know that. And the other thing, I just want to cover a little something on the storm Saturday. Obviously, we had a lot of trees down in the city, trees on homes, trees that went from this property over to this property. Reason I'm calling or checking on things, I want to make sure all the council understands the way we do things as far as taking trees down, because I know you're going to get constituents calling you, and we want to make sure that we're giving them the correct answer. If a tree falls down on someone else's property across the road Our job is to remove that tree from the roadway and remove that tree from the sidewalk. If there is trees on somebody's property, unfortunately, those are not our responsibility. When you do that, if we did that, we would be taking trees out of people's yards every single day if they fall down. So, one thing I want the council to understand, and if you get a call, if you don't have the answer, you need to call me. By all means, call me with that kind of information. But, because people are going to, I understand their situations. Like in this situation, this lady was having a hard time getting out of the front door. If my department goes on there, one of my guys get hurt, we're not covered. The city's not covered for insurance. The other thing I tried to do that I ran into a couple times just this Saturday is insurance for this house. Like this tree fell from someone else's home on their property, fell across the street, damaged somebody else's home on the other side. We do a property damage report from the police department every single time we cut a tree down. And before we cut it down, we can't go on there and start cutting it off a car or cutting off somebody's property. Okay, if it's hooked to their property on the street, we can't do that until we do a damage report. And then that particular homeowner can use that damage report to, if they need to start looking to get money from the other homeowner to fix their property, because obviously the trees and these homeowners over here, it's their responsibility to make sure those trees are cut and taken care of. But we had a couple of situations like that. I actually went down there on Sunday and offered up some opportunities for this gal to use for taking the tree out of her yard. She wasn't real happy with me, and I think there was some confusion on some information that she might have gotten. And I just want to make sure that the council's all clear on what we can and can't do in cutting the tree down. Unfortunately, we can't go into somebody's private property to do that. This was in your neck of the woods, Mike, I believe. But, we had some massive trees down on Saturday. And we went back. They ended up having somebody cut some stuff down. We went back and picked it up. I told them we'd come back and take care of getting it out of there. And then another one on Catherine Street that was on House. I don't mind doing that, but we just can't go on there and cut that stuff up. So I just want to make sure you guys were aware of those types of things that come up. And Don and Dan helped me out on a couple of situations too that I didn't have the answer for. And Dan came down and looked at it and helped me out. So I learned some stuff as well. There's some people out there that don't carry homeowners insurance, so you have to go through attorneys to try to get those, get those things paid for if you have damage to your home from somebody else's tree. So, but anyway, that's kind of what I want to talk to you about. If you ever have any questions about anything, for that matter, you can contact me. But before we give answers off to constituents, I'd much rather you call me than to go down and have to kind of explain myself to them. So if anybody has any questions, you have to answer them. I just kind of want to talk to you about those two things. So
I just want to commend you guys in the department. I know you worked how many hours straight?
well, we were there about 7 hours on Saturday, but it's utilities. I mean, I appreciate that, Mike. I mean, the guys work hard, and utilities, they worked hard. I mean, they were out overnight, I think, still working the next day. So you learn as you go, by different instances you come across that there was a couple of trees on a home. One homeowner didn't have their insurance. The other homeowner, the person that had the damage didn't have insurance, right there.
Right.
And so, you run into different opportunities that you come across. You don't always think you're going to run into. But, the guys did a great job. We had one come down Sunday night, about 11 o'clock. I don't think it came down on Saturdays. It was still falling, and it happened to fall Sunday night, so we were out again. But we had 2 crews out, and I think except for this morning, taking a couple out of an alleyway, we had everything done by Sunday evening. So that's what we do, and the guys do a great job. proud of. And so utilities were out all night long. And so anyway, if you have any questions on that, just get a hold of me. Let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. I want to thank Jason and the street department for all their hard work. As Mike said, they did a great job out there with all the trees, the limbs, cleaning up what needs to be cleaned up. Bart went out Saturday as well. We had trees and limbs down at TPA Park and I think Third Street, maybe some of the other parks.
Some dorners
Thank
as
you.
well.
Circle, did you say?
Dorners.
Corners, okay. John said they had a couple transformer fires, so everybody was busy. Then the police department, thank you for your traffic control, keeping us safe.
You don't put water on a light.
No kidding, we did.
It's burning.
Hey, but people have to go out on these things.
Still going on fire.
And thanks to all the employees, the departments, the utilities, I think it was, for what we had come through here, I think it was very successful in getting things cleaned up and back working, so I appreciate it. Did anybody else have anything else, public comments? Is there anything else? Next on the agenda is a public hearing, so I'm going to recess the council meeting at 7:12 and open the public hearing on ordinance 20-11. Carol, do you want to tell us a little bit about that ordinance and?
Yes, let me get that out. Sorry. So yes, we are looking at an additional appropriation of $50,000 in general fund and $100,000 in lit ed.
So we could either, tonight, when we get to that part of it, we can pass it on second and third tonight. We would still have to have approval from the DLGF. We'll get the information back from the state. They will approve that for us. This was for some financial services along with professional services, so. Does anybody in the audience have anything or any other council? Okay, I will close the public hearing at 7:14 and reopen the council meeting. Next on the agenda is ordinance 20-11 on the second reading.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules and pass ordinance 20-11 on second and third reading. I'll second.
We have a motion made in a second. That was Vernon. Roll call, please.
Steve Beardsley,
Aye.
Mike Wright.
Aye.
Brant Fuller,
Aye.
Joe Palmer,
Aye.
Megan Sheets. Clarence Worthen,
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Okay, now, I would accept a motion to pass this on the second and third.
So moved. Second.
Was that the second from Brant?
Yes.
Okay, roll call, please.
Steve Beardsley,
Aye.
Mike Wright.
Aye.
Brant Fuller,
Aye.
Joe Palmer,
Aye.
Megan Sheets. Clarence Worthen,
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Ordinance 20-11 passes on second and third reading. Carol will now make sure that the forms get submitted to the state, and once it's approved, then we'll go ahead and do the additional appropriations in the fund reports. Next on the agenda tonight is ordinance 20-12, and we're on third reading. Carol, is there anything you'd like to say about that?
No, this is the amendment to the salary ordinance that would allow us to have a part-time HR generalist position and also eliminate the HR director position.
And that's all funded through the clerk treasurer's office.
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we pass ordinance 20-12 on the third reading.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Steve Beardsley,
Aye.
Mike Wright.
Aye.
Brant Fuller.
Aye.
Joe Palmer,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen,
Aye.
Eric Woods.
Ordinance 20-12 passes on the third reading. Next on the agenda is resolution 20-12, and Carol's worked with Les on this a little bit to see, I think we had a situation with two resolutions getting assigned the same number. Is that correct, Carol?
That is correct. We had the EDA resolution and the Cherry Curry resolution assigned the same number, so we need to look at this resolution to assign the Jerry Curry a new resolution number of 20-11.
This is a 20-12, so which one are we?
The resolution we're looking at is 20-12
Okay,
to assign the
okay,
Terry Curry 20-11.
okay, sorry.
Where does 2010 come into play?
2010 is the EDA resolution that we had a special meeting for that the council approved.
So do we just need to have a motion for that, Les?
Yeah, it's a one-time vote.
So are we,
Just a motion to pass the resolution.
Just to pass the resolution, because all we actually did was just change the number.
Right, we're not changing anything
None
from
of
the
the text
number.
of either resolution changes, we're just assigning a different number to one of them.
So in order
Because there
to-
couldn't be two with the same resolution number.
okay, so are we changing, which resolution are we changing, I guess?
Well, there were two 20-10 resolutions, and we're changing the one that was for the property cleanup at the
Okay.
old recycling place.
Okay,
Is now, if you pass this, it would now become 20-11, thereby eliminating the duplication.
So it says 20-12.
All right, I'll make
The new resolution is
Okay,
20-12,
okay.
yeah. But it's referring to
okay,
20-10, which will change to 20-12.
We just need to pass 2012,
Yes, we're passing
Just pass
and that
20-12.
gets everything straight.
Yes.
I'll make a motion, we pass resolution number 20-12.
I'll second that also.
Is there any other questions or comments? Okay, roll call please, Carol.
Steve Beardsley,
Aye.
Mike Bright.
Aye.
Brant Fuller,
Aye.
Joe Palmer,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen,
Aye,
Eric Woods.
Resolution 20-12 passes.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is old business. Does anyone have anything under old business for tonight? I don't have anything. Anything? Okay, under new business, we have the CF1 approval for Federal Mobile. I believe Carol's received all the paperwork and everything is okay, is that correct?
Yes.
If we pass this tonight, then we'll make sure that all the paperwork is filed at the courthouse.
Normally, we have a representative from there.
We're not doing that. We haven't done any of that this year because of the COVID-19. So it's kind of been our practice all year, is not, so I think we just decided not to go ahead and have them here. Is that right,
That's
Megan?
correct, yes.
Okay. Now, the finance committee, I think you've talked to.
Also, also, the finance committee is talking about redoing the way we approach that, so that there is not always going to be a representative requested with us after reviewing if we have questions.
Yeah, that's fine, just as
Okay.
long as you guys are in tune.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Anyone like to make a motion for the CF1 approval? Or is there any discussion?
I move approval of CF1 consent proposal.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Steve Beardsley,
Aye.
Mike Bright,
Aye.
Brant Fuller,
Aye.
Joe Palmer,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Clarence Worthen,
aye,
Eric Woods.
And CF1 is approved. Next on the agenda, I asked them to put the information about the not-for-profits for next year. There's a copy of the resolution that we passed along with the request policy. And I think that it says that we will accept applications from August 1st through September 30th. And then we notify them by November 1st for the following year. Do we want, I mean, this can just be a topic of discussion tonight. Do we want to go ahead and do that? Or are we for sure we're going to do the funding next year? Or how do you want to handle that?
Judy, I think that given our financial situation of not knowing a lot about what's the future options are. We need to go carefully on this, to question whether it's something that we really should be doing when, providing basic services is going to be, make sure what we have there. So I'm not necessarily saying that we don't do that, but I think we need to make sure that we think through and discuss it and make that part of our budget hearings.
Okay. Now, Les, would it be possible, since we have dates on this, could we, let's say that we go ahead and decide to pass it through the budget, is something we could address even the first of next year or something if we decide to do that? It's just that I think it's a little soon this year considering the finances, you know, that's what we want to do. Let's do this. We have, already awarded all of it for this year, and I think everyone but one group has asked for their money, so.
Is this something that we can approve at a later date?
That's what I was gonna ask, was if we'd be okay to do
Yes,
that.
I think you can wait and approve it later.
Okay,
Yes, I'd like to, in conjunction with what Steve Grizzly has suggested, that we, when we have our further review of budgets and see where we lie on that, and maybe even see the timeline if that needs to be revised at the same time, but take it under advisement and discussion at this time.
and then, so we won't go ahead and advertise for people to come in and to fill out their applications or send it in at this time.
I'd say to wait until we're more certain on the budget, yes.
Okay. I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Yeah.
Set the policy.
When do we do our budget?
Well, we gotta bring that up here in just a little bit. I've already worked with my department heads, and then finance committee is gonna meet with Reedy on the 21st. And then sometime, the last week in July, first week of August, calendar with me, we were thinking of maybe trying to set a time.
Okay, well, I was just thinking, they're supposed to apply for this between August 1st, which we wouldn't have a budget then.
No,
So we don't know if we're gonna have money to put in there at all.
so that's what I was asking Les, if we can just wait, and then if we decide to go ahead and budget that, we could always ask them to do the applications at a later date.
What you're really doing is just amending the policy that was dated June 25th, 2018,
Right.
as to the dates down in paragraph 4. So, and even with resolution number 18-24, I would suggest you just make a motion to delay the application dates and the time within which the applications must be submitted until after your budget meetings.
I would make the motion that Les just suggested.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Steve Beardsley,
Aye.
Mike Wright.
Aye.
Grant Fuller,
Aye.
Joe Palmer,
Aye.
Megan Sheets,
Aye.
Clarence Worthen,
Hi,
Eric Woods.
We won't go ahead then and. We do need to set a date or try to come up with some sort of a date. Like I said, the last week in July, first week in
Can I propose July 29th?
you're asking for July 29th
For one.
for the budget hearing. What day is that on?
That's a Wednesday.
July
That's a
29th.
Wednesday, and it's not on the day of one of the public meetings, and it's not on a council day.
Would everyone be up for July 29th on a Wednesday and try to get it done in a day's time? I'm not gonna have anybody, not for profits or anyone, probably come in at that time since we're not even really sure, so. I would guess maybe from 8 to 5, or you wanna try to do it in one day?
I definitely would try to do it in one day.
I think we should too.
I'd be agreeable to that, Mayor.
Okay, July 29th?
my wife has a doctor's appointment that day, her doctor, so I may have to go to that. I don't know.
I don't know about my situation.
I'm good for whatever.
Okay, you wanna go ahead and set it for July 29th, and let's start it at 8 o'clock in the morning, so you might wanna work with Tina, or if you wanna get a schedule ready, or.
Big smart question.
I can do that.
She doesn't know the difference, right? She knows what treasure does that, right?
Yeah. Just tell me that's part of my job.
Okay, let's go ahead and plan in July 29th from 8 to 5 for budget hearings. Also, everyone has in front of them the list of the annexation meetings that are coming up. Starting tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock at the neighborhood center, and then they'll run 2 meetings a week. Our last one is gonna be July 30th at 10 a.m. at the utilities. Also, I'm asking that everyone wear masks during these meetings. It's gonna be close, I'm afraid, in some of the meeting places, so we just wanna take those precautions. We wanna make sure that everybody's safe and that we're doing our part. Did anybody have any questions on any of the annexation meetings, or if you're planning to attend, or Joe's gonna be there? Steve, you're gonna be there?
I am.
Okay. So does anybody else have anything for this evening?
Do you want me to talk about COVID reimbursement a little bit?
Yes. Steve, I did talk to Carol about the COVID reimbursement that we talked about the other day, so she's gonna give us some information on that.
Good.
Well, I really don't have any concrete information. We do have up to $500,000 available to us by December 31st. So it's not necessarily money we've already spent. It could be, some things we may need to do to stay proactive, to stay ahead of the curve on this. So I think that my recommendation is that maybe in conjunction with some of the budgeting and the finance committee maybe could get involved and look at what our needs might be that we could get reimbursed for. There's also FEMA money available, but it does require a 25% local match. So I think that it just requires a lot more discussion. We really, to date, don't have any huge expenditures to look at reimbursement for.
Well, next week, we have a budget committee meeting with the finance committee with Reedy, I think on Tuesday, don't we, Judy?
Yes, yes.
Well, why don't we contact them and just prompt them that if they can be prepared to maybe advise us on how to approach some of those funded availability, maybe get a little help from them too.
Okay, that would be great. Because I know some of the financial consultants are working with the cities and towns, so.
I will take care of making that contact.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carol.
Yeah, because we want to make sure whether it's expenses we've already had, or can we have other things that we need to go ahead and purchase because of, what this has caused or what. So we need to get some clarification, so. Does anyone else have anything?
Good.
Okay, I'll take a motion to. Okay, thank you. Thanks everyone for coming this evening.
First from Joe, second from Maya. I need to get all